the Miami Heat have a problem with Tyler Herro. What I mean by that is it looks cute now, right? He's their sixth man. He looks amazing, right? He's averaging 21 points per game. He's a great sixth man. It's a great punch off the bench. People are probably thinking, wow, the Miami Heat are so always ahead of the curve. They have him as their backup point guard and their backup shooting guard. So they're rotating him in and getting him a lot of minutes, right? He's so deadly, right? Miami Heat have a great team. Yeah, 100%. They're a great team. They're in the high-tier teams. But they have a problem. And they might take until next season for them to realize what their problem is, because it's hard for teams to realize in the moment what their problem is, right? It's hard for a team to realize what kind of tier of team they are in and how close they are to not being what their potential is. So I'm beating around the bush there. What I mean by that is 6 minutes can change the difference between going to the NBA Finals and getting beat in the second round. What I mean by that is Tyler Herro, like most six men, are usually going to get 32 to 33 to 34 minutes a game in the playoffs, at most, right? Okay, great. So when has six men worked? Six men work when you have a superstar that has an offense built around him, like Tim Duncan. You have Tony Parker to complement. Okay, when we're starting, our offense is going to be built around the low post in the pick and roll with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. We don't really need a guy who can create his own shot until the bench comes out, because it's hard to find those kind of guys. Okay, so when Manu comes on the floor, now he can go to work, right? Tim Duncan's off the floor, we'll rotate them out, and then at the end of the game, you guys have to deal with Manu on the floor. Yeah, that makes sense, right? But the Miami Heat don't have Tim Duncan. What I mean by that is Jimmy Butler's not that level of player. Tim Duncan is one of the three greatest power forwards ever to play basketball. Jimmy Butler is not in the top 20 small forwards that ever play basketball. Let's just be real with this. So you have to understand what you are as a team. Now, what they are as a team is a team that can be like the 2004 Detroit Pistons, 2003, 2004, where you have something so amazing at every position that it's not all-star level, it's not superstar level. Maybe it's a borderline all-star level, but it's not superstar level. So if it's not superstar level, then you have to be below that. And I think people forget how great each player was. Chauncey Billups was an all-star, right? Richard Hamilton was just below an all-star. Tayshaun Prince was a world-class defender, an amazing NBA championship level role player. Rasheed Wallace was a great post player, a great scorer inside, a great mid-range shooter, and a great three-point shooter. And Ben Wallace was an amazing interior defender. World class. Rasheed Wallace was one of the top 5 best power forwards of his era, right? Now, taking away Tyler Herro from the starting lineup is like taking away Richard Hamilton from the starting lineup. Saying we're going to have Rip be the backup point guard and the 2 guard. Makes no sense. Right? The Miami Heat are overthinking. The Miami Heat are being too cute. They have great tactical minds, but they are not understanding what their team is and what the difference is between going out of the second round and getting into the NBA Finals. What I mean by that is you have to get through the Bucks and you got to get through the Nets. Now, let's put this in perspective here. Kyle Lowry is a borderline all-star. Duncan Robinson is a great three-point shooter. But Tyler Herro is a borderline all-star. Jimmy Butler is an all-star. You have Markieff Morris and PJ Tucker, world-class NBA champion role players. Great. Bam Adebayo, borderline, probably an all-star. Probably will make it this year. It'll be close. But that's beside the point. So you have those level of guys. Now you got to face up against the Bucks. Okay, we have Giannis, right? Superstar. Then we have 2 borderline all-stars. against your one All-Star, two borderline All-Stars, and another borderline All-Star is coming off the bench. Now that is when it matters to have Tyler Herro or not. Because 6 minutes a game is the difference between you beating the Bucks and you losing to the Bucks. Because you will not have enough scoring punch without those 6 minutes of Tyler Herro. Now what I mean by that is Tyler Herro may have the second minutes played for his team in 33 minutes a game right now because he's playing two roles. He's a backup 2 guard and he's a backup point guard. Great. Love to see the growth of the player. I'm sure once Kyle Lowry becomes older, he's maybe become the point guard of this team and they'll play some more modern style basketball, but that's beside the point. In the playoffs, we all know rotations shorten. Now, a guy like this doesn't have any room to elevate minutes-wise. But you know who does? Duncan Robinson. Why? He's getting 30 minutes a game, and Max Strus, another 2 guard, is getting 17.9. What's going to happen in the playoffs? Duncan Robinson is going to get a raise in minutes because he's a starter, right? He's a great shooter. 34, 35 minutes a game. Tyler Herro stays at 33. Right? Because Tyler Herro can't start and come off the bench and be the 6th man and be the backcourt point guard all at the same time. So when they shorten lineups, right, just because the way, lineups work, they won't be able to do it, and Duncan Robinson is going to get those minutes. Now, it'd be different if Tyler Herro is starting, and he goes from 33, okay, he's my starting 2 guard and my backup point guard, to 38 in the NBA playoffs, when you need him to score. Right? Now, that can win you and make you go to the NBA Finals. Because what happens when you play against Kevin Durant and James Harden 70 more games in the NBA season to adapt to the rules? When he starts cooking and then he starts averaging 28 and 10 and everybody's like, oh my gosh, how are you dealing with that scoring punch? How are you dealing with the scoring punch of the Nets? You can't score enough. The Miami Heat cannot score enough to beat the Nets without those 6 minutes of Tyler Herro every night. Now they can with him on the court. That's what I mean. This is the difference between you having a chance of winning the NBA Finals and you going out in the second round, is because you're getting too cute, right? I mean, he's a special guy. Let's be honest about it here. He's special. His upside is very obvious. And another thing to realize is this is your moment, this is your window this year. Because you guys changed your offense, right? It's no longer super Jimmy Butler always initiate our offense. It was like really clunky, it was hard for them to get buckets. It seems like they had to work and pass the ball all the time and worked really hard to get every good look, right? Now you have multiple guys that can get buckets. Kyle Lowry's the conductor of offense. It looks a lot better, right? Kyle Lowry's added influence is great, right? And then their defense is always going to be supreme. They're always going to be a top 5 defense in the league. Switchable, you match up really well with the Nets. Defensively, I can't think of a team off the top of my head that matches up with the Nets defensively better than you. And the problem is, Kyle Lowry is 35. Next year, he's going to be worse. Jimmy Butler is at the back end of his prime. See, when you're in the moment, it's hard to realize that it's fleeting. This is their year. This is their shot. Because of Kyle Lowry and Tyler Herro's emergence, and Bam Adebayo is better than last year, they have a chance, because of all the momentum they have, the way they're flowing already, to go win the NBA Finals. And bring back the beauty of basketball, that it's a team. Right? They can do that. You guys can be that. But you can't be it without Tyler Herro. Now, 6 minutes a game might not sound like that big of a deal. But to be honest with you, that's the difference between the NBA Finals and the second round. You have to realize that. And it's hard to. It's hard to in the moment. But, and this is probably something they're going to realize next year. They're going to be like, oh, we made a mistake, Tyler Herro is going to start. It's going to be too late. Because what you also have is great basketball minds merging at once. Kyle Lowry is the tier below Chris Paul basketball mind-wise. You add that to Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler, and you have a team that has a ridiculous amount of basketball IQ and passing and ball movement. And the way the NBA is moving this year with the foul calling favors a team like the Miami Heat, who play a more tough style. You don't know if the rules are going to change next year, and the NBA is like, well, obviously, we're not going to keep on doing what we're doing last year. This is your season. This is your chance to take it. And you're not going to have it if you don't start Tyler Herro. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it really is crazy. You have to realize what kind of tier of a team you are. And your great teamwork, your great team, your great depth will not get shown if Tyler Herro is not starting. So, I don't think I have a smarter or know more about basketball than Eric Spoelstra. But I'm just saying, I don't think he's doing it right. So, yeah. This is the Basketball Addicts.